Work-life balance. Is it a mystery? Is it obtainable? We're going to talk about it today. No one is really sharing how they're balancing things. Are they doing okay? Are they drowning? Do they have time with their kids, time with their family? How can you achieve that work-life balance? You don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. and work until midnight to be successful in this business. If you are working from 4 a.m. to midnight and you are not at several six figures, then you're doing something wrong. Before I tell you what I do for work-life balance, my name is Vanessa Marquez. I'm a real estate agent in Colorado Springs and your referral partner here, and I teach agents how to scale and build six-figure businesses. So if you have any questions or would like to reach out, I have all my free resources and my contact information below. So work-life balance. So as a mom, I have 3 kids, a husband who is really like my 4th kid sometimes, and I run a multiple six-figure business. My husband hates when I say that, but as real estate agents, especially as moms, we take on a lot. And I think what no one talks about is the work that goes into everything. I think a lot of times we're sharing on social media our wins, how many homes we've sold, but no one is really sharing how they're balancing things. Are they doing okay? Are they drowning? Do they have time with their kids, time with their family? Like, how can you achieve that work-life balance? I think for me, I struggled with this a lot in the beginning. I just felt like I was constantly working. I didn't have any time to go to my kids' sports, have time with my friends. I didn't have a balance at all. It was 80% work and 20% play. And we've really been able to dial in our systems and leverage and all of those things to kind of switch that, where I feel like 70% of the time I'm having fun and doing the things that I want to do, and 30% of the time I'm working on the business. And I think that might sound scary to some people, but if you really, really figure out leverage and figure out how other people can help you with your business, it can explode it and you can still be able to make more money while working less. So if you follow me on social media, I sometimes talk about making 6 figures while working part-time hours. And ultimately, that's my goal, because what is the point of me working nonstop for vacations and family time and doing nice things for my family if I don't have the time to enjoy them? So if you are spinning your wheels, you feel like you're constantly working, figure out what you're doing that you don't really need to be doing. Are you cleaning your house all the time? Could you hire a house cleaner? That's, I know, where we started, conveniently enough, because who really likes cleaning their house? I like organizing, but I don't like cleaning. So we have someone come into our house once a week. We pay her $100 a week to, hit all the bathrooms, hit the baseboards. So every week I know we're getting a reset. Now, of course, I clean every day. I pick up after my kids help with stuff, but I'm not spending 3-4 hours a week cleaning my house. And the reason we did this is if I break down my hourly rate, it's in the $500-$600 range. So for me to pay someone $25 an hour to clean my house makes 100% makes sense to me. Same for grocery delivery. If I go to the grocery store, I'm gone 1 or 2 hours. When I come back, I'm exhausted. So I get my groceries delivered. I pay $8-$10. Sometimes it's free. And someone delivers the groceries to me. It takes me 10 minutes to put everything in my cart because it saves everything ahead of time. So it has my last order in there. So I kind of just click add and I add the things that I need. And I haven't wasted those 2 hours. At $500 an hour, it could have cost me $1,000 to go to the grocery store if you really look at it that way. Instead, the groceries are being delivered to me. My kids are going to put them up, and I can spend an hour or 2 to create content. Sometimes we're afraid to spend the money, but you have to look at it from a different perspective and kind of almost trick yourself into being okay with spending the money. I know that I'm super frugal. So for me, it took a long time to realize that I'm actually losing money by cleaning my house myself, going to pick up my groceries, doing little admin tasks, where now I have that time free. So I'm only really focusing on the things that I can't have anyone else doing. Another part of leverage for me is hiring a virtual assistant. So I have someone that helps me 4 hours a day for 5 days a week. So 20 hours, she's part-time, and I pay them $800 a month. 4 hours a day is $2,000. So even just her working for me for one day pays for the virtual assistant. And I have her do everything from put people into spreadsheets, order marketing materials, updating a guide with like new home prices, everything that I have a process built out for, they are able to help me with. So I have it dialed into a point where I'm only doing the things that I'm really good at, and that's reaching out to my clients, keeping up with leads, and content creation. I don't outsource any of my content because I think that it's important that I show up in my own voice, with my own wording, with my own content, as opposed to someone else creating it for me. The only thing that we use is a YouTube editor. And same thing, like if I spent the hours doing that, I would lose money, as opposed to the money that I'm paying the editor is saving me time and saving me money. Now, some of you might be watching and maybe you just started, or your profit margins aren't there and you don't have the money to spend on leverage. I would try to do things that save you time. So put systems in place, start using Trello, organize your tasks, do other things that are free to free up time for you. So you don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. and work until midnight to be successful in this business. If you are working from 4 a.m. to midnight and you are not at several six figures, then you're doing something wrong. A lot of times we see other influencers or other agents, they're at the gym at 4 in the morning and they're working hard and they're doing all these things. And I don't think that's what it takes to be successful. Do the things that work for you, your lifestyle, and your family. If you're miserable every day waking up at 4 a.m., don't wake up at 4 a.m. I do think it's important that we take time for ourselves, and self-care and scheduling time for yourself are part of the work-life balance, because if you're not pouring into yourself, no one else is going to. So if you show up exhausted, you show up stressed, your clients will notice and your family will notice. So sometimes I say this all the time, it's better to slow down so that you could speed up, because if you are burnt out, your clients will know. Another part of self-care is being around supportive people. So if your spouse is not supportive, I really can't help you with that. That's more of a therapy question, or maybe a divorce attorney. But my husband is super supportive of my business. He understands the business. He works with me in the business now. And I have known other agents that have been married to or around people that were not supportive of their business. And I think it can create a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of roadblocks for people. So if you're around people that don't believe in you, don't support you, they are part of your work-life balance. Because if you're constantly kind of pushing against that or mentally having to overcome that, you're spending energy doing that. So sometimes it's better. We always say that as we have gotten older, our circle of friends has become a dot, because for us it's quality over quantity. I would rather have one friend that's super supportive and understands that I can't always get back to them, as opposed to having 5 friends that are constantly down my neck about, oh, you haven't hung out with me, you haven't made time for me. Like, you have to kind of meet people where they're at, and having a supportive environment is part of that. And that also goes for your brokerage. If you feel like you're not getting the tools, the resources that you need to achieve that work-life balance, say, for example, you have a certain amount of houses that you want to sell every year and you're in a brokerage that is high producing. Every day they're asking you, did you do this? Did you do that? Maybe they are pushing you to something that you don't really want. I have known agents that have been in environments like this where they come into the office and they have this motivational roo-roo rah-rah guy that's asking them, did you do this? Why didn't you do that? And that person might not understand, first of all, because it's coming from a male perspective. They're not really like in your shoes as a mom. And secondly, this other person wasn't in production. So he was holding his agents to a certain kind of standard to produce what he wanted them to produce, as opposed to supporting them where they're at and helping them produce what they want to produce. The right brokerage is important. I think you need to know what your goals are and you need to stand by them, and you shouldn't feel the constant need to do better. Like, set the goals. If you do more, great, but don't feel that you're constantly having to keep up with other people, because again, I said this in the beginning, people show us the highlights of their lives. They don't show us when they're struggling, when they don't spend time with their kids, when their marriage is falling apart because they don't spend any time with their husband. So this profession can make us a lot of money, but it's not going to do you any good if you're burnt out, if your personal life is falling apart. So use it as a tool to get you to your goals in life, and don't let it control you to a point where you're drowning in your business. If you need other resources, I've done some other videos on how you can scale, how you can create more attraction-based leads coming into your business. So if you need any more resources, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help you.